Fans, welcome to Boucher Field for tonight's game featuring the Bobcats of Bates College and your Eagles of Husson University. Husson University would like to thank our corporate sponsors, Adidas, Buffalo Wild Wings, Karen Signs, Casella, Central Maine Moving and Storage Company, Chick-fil-A, Creative Print Services, Cross Insurance, Sear Bus Line, Domino's, Downey's Orthopedics, Dice Arts, First National Bank, Greenway Equipment Sales, Hammond Lumber Company, Harvest Moon Deli, Hero Sports Grill and Entertainment Center, Holiday Inn, Pepsi, Ron's Moving, Saco Bay Orthopedic and Sports Physical Therapy, School Street Picture Framing Incorporated, Barney Buick GMC Mazda, and White Sporting Goods. The NCAA North Atlantic Conference and Husson University promote good sportsmanship by the student-athletes, coaches, and spectators of tonight's contest. We request your cooperation by supporting the participants and officials in a positive manner. Profanity, racial, or sexist comments or other intimidating actions directed at officials, student-athletes, coaches, or team representatives will not be tolerated and are grounds for removal from Boucher Field. At this time, let's meet the starting lineup for tonight's contest. First, for the visiting Bobcats. A sophomore attack, number 5, Lacey Ravis. A senior attack, number 6, Caroline Taggart. A sophomore attack, number 7, Lucy Taylor. A senior defender, number 10, Olivia Hall. A junior midfielder, number 15, Grace Yonchik. A senior defender, number 17, Emily Mueller. A junior midfielder, number 19, Julia Roloffs. A first-year defender, number 20, Elsa Copeland. A junior attack, number 21, Lauren Wong. A junior midfielder, number 28, Caroline Keaton. In goal, a junior, number 35, Reagan White. And a junior defender, number 75, Sarah Jane Gavin. Base is under direction of head coach Princess Zabel. And now, let's meet the starting lineup for your Husson University Eagles. A junior from Farmingdale, Maine, number 1, Avery Baker. A junior from Winslow, Maine, number 2, Madison Lauer. A sophomore from Augusta, Maine, number 3, Isabel Asaf. A senior from Hyde Park, Vermont, number 5, Maddie Benoit. A senior from Georgia, Vermont, number 7, Sydney Heck. A junior from Bangor, Maine, number 10, Layla Martinez. A freshman from Shelburne, Vermont, number 11, Kate Bumkey. A senior from Reedfield, Maine, number 14, Natalie Witten. A senior from Concord, New Hampshire, number 15, Jordan Lingle. A senior from Richmond, Rhode Island, number 17, Montana Carrier. In goal, a senior from Lewiston, Maine, number 22, Emma Beeks. And a sophomore from Corinna, Maine, number 24, Jory Boyd. The Eagles are coached by Amanda DeHaze, and she's assisted by Caitlin Doloff. Fans, at this time, we ask you please rise and honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
The age-old sport of lacrosse comes back to Husson University tonight for this matchup between the Bates College Bobcats and the Husson University Eagles. This is a women's lacrosse matchup in the Eagles' first home game of the season. Surely going to be an exciting matchup, but the Eagles have their hands full tonight. The Bates College Bobcats coming off of a win 11-3 versus Hamilton, but earlier this year they beat the number 25 school in the country in Catholic 11-10 in overtime. They certainly have had a great season so far. For the Eagles, their last win or their last game was against Wesley College with an 11-10 overtime win scored, and the last goal was by Kate Bumke, who has also had herself quite the season so far. 2 career games and has had 2 career 4-goal performances to start her college career. Hello, everyone. I'm Max Sturm, joined alongside Mason Heimer. We've got a good game here tonight, Mason. What do you think the matchup's going to look like tonight?
And I definitely think it's going to be a competitive matchup here between Husson and Bates, but I believe that Bates has an advantage playing in the NESCAC conference, a very tough conference, especially for lacrosse, and Husson has a known struggle with NESCAC opponents.
Yeah, NESCAC certainly has been the champion has come out of the NESCAC the last several years, both on the men's and the women's side. The Eagles playing in the North Atlantic Conference, obviously. This is going to be a good matchup to test the Eagles' strength against some of these really high-caliber players. We're about to get underway here. The draw will be taken by number 15, Jordan Langle, the dual sport athlete playing women's basketball here at Husson University. They just finished up the basketball season in an unfortunate loss to Maine Maritime Academy in the playoffs in the semifinals for the East Division of the NAC. And she quickly turns it around and comes back for lacrosse this season. Here's the draw. It's up in the air, and it's swiped and taken away by Carolina Keaton. Quick down the other side. A pass up inside, and the ball will be settled down now by Lauren Wong. And we're actually going to have a free position shot already in this one being taken by Lucy Taylor, and she gets it to go. Gets things started. Lucy Taylor for the Bobcats. Wow, Mason, that was quick.
And you saw right off the draw, Bates ran down the field wide open and got an instant attack off of it.
Pretty much undefended by the Eagles, and then when they did finally close to play that defense, a foul occurred. Not a lot of contact allowed inside that shooting circle there. It's going to draw a free position play every single time. And so right back where we started, back at the draw circle, just seconds into this game.
And I think Jordan can use her basketball prowess here in the draw to win a couple of these matchups for Husson.
Well, she certainly got the height to do it. It's depending on where the ball, the trajectory of the ball goes. See who ends up with it on this time. I think these draws are going to be really important for the Eagles. Langle almost able to secure it, but Keating able to pick it back up. Dipped off to Ravis. Ravis, the leading scorer for this Bates squad. 9 goals on the year so far in just 3 games. Ball is loose on the ground. And it's picked up by Bumke, who's also had a really good year. Stolen away by Ravis. Ravis trying to drive inside is met by some Eagles defenders. And a penalty inside the shooting circle. We're going to get another free position shot.
And Ravis's playmaking really set up that foul there. Just driving through the center of the Husson Eagles defense and draw a foul.
They've been able to get those defenders to close in on them. Here's the shot. No good from Lauren Wong. Good defense by the Eagles, and now they're going to have to stay on this defensive side. They'll get their first real chance to set up in the defense that they normally run. That's Roloffs. Roloffs trying to find a lane. Is pushed out. Great defense from Maddie Benoit. And a shot taken by Keating. No good. Still rolling around. Did not find its way out of bounds. Finally picked up by Yonchak.
Great possession here for Bates, just staying in the Husson offensive zone.
It's set back up here with Wong. Wong has been their main playmaker so far. They're really trying to get it to run through her and Ravis. That one's sent over the middle and picked up by Wong, and she scores. She picked that one up off the ground and put it at the feet of Biggs, and it's a 2-0 game to get this one started. Just 2 minutes into this contest.
And Bates has just come out super aggressive here early on, scoring the 2 early goals and just being super aggressive in the offensive zone.
The Eagles are going to need to win some of these draw controls in order to get their offense down on the other side of the field. The Bates offense has just been relentless, and the Eagles can't find a way to stop them. They can slow them down, but once they're able to settle, find their play, they're able to find the back of the net pretty easily here. They're going to have a tough time tonight if they cannot limit those, one, the turnover that they had down there, but two, limit the scoring. Might see some defensive adjustments not too far into this game. This one is won by Wines. Wines heading down, chased by Lengel. She's going to settle it and get it to Ravis. Taylor wants to work around. She does. She gets it back up to Wong. She'll settle.
And Bates is already comfortable in Husson's offensive zone again.
They're just passing it around the outside, waiting for the defenders to move. Some cuts inside. That one sent over the head of Keating. And it's picked up by number 17, Mueller, Emily Mueller. Comes up from the mid-range. Working around behind the net now. Driving inside is Ravis, and that one's stopped by Biggs. Eagles with a potential first chance at a offensive possession. Here's Bumke, who we mentioned just before this game, having a great season. They'll need her scoring ability as well as some of the other playmakers on this, Avery Baker and Madison Lauer, just to name a few. That one's turned over and picked up by Taggart. Taggart
quickly down the field.
Very quickly down the field. Now we'll settle on the outside. We'll kind of just run around the offensive zone, get it in the restrainer box. This is what Bates does. They set it up behind the net, and they hope to draw some Eagles players away from the middle. Ravis gets it up top to Casson. Sent back for Wines. And now Wong with the ball on the far left side. Wong makes a move, driving inside, quickly met by Lengel and others. And a great pass inside to Casson, and she scores. Wow.
That was a great goal there.
Casson able to just find her way through defenders. I don't even think the Eagles saw her back there. A great pass through the middle of the field and a shot right in front of the net. That's really hard for Emma Biggs to stop.
And if the Bates keeps creating passes like that, it's going to be a long game for the Husson Eagles.
It's going to be a really long game for them. The Eagles have got to get something going here. Already down 3 with 11 minutes remaining in this first quarter. Lengel will take it again for the Eagles. I think they really like the idea of having her height out there, considering her basketball background. She's able to knock it away, but still fighting for it. There's Bumke. Bumke trying to get a handle on it. She does.
That's a great play by Bumke there to just get the ball for the Eagles.
Looked like she might have dealt with some contact there. Was not seen. Baker's got it now, and the first offensive possession for the Eagles starts here. They really got to settle it down and just kind of work around to get this game back to within 2, at least to start. That one's a missed shot. Lengel tried to get it to Witten. And now the Bates Bobcats will send it back down the field. A quick possession for the Eagles is already over.
And Bates getting in the offensive zone already.
They're always pretty quick down the field here. Keating now for Taggart. Taggart is forced outside by Montana. Passing it around, and here's a shot opportunity. Blocked by, I believe that was Biggs, was able to get the stick on it. And it's going to be a turnover from Bates. They were in the crease. So an automatic change of possession. Here's Benoit now. Benoit, the captain for this Eagles squad. She's not known for being the biggest scorer. She's more of a defensive player, but she does have a knack for finding the back of the net when she's able to get those opportunities. A good pass. And Lengel trying to fight for it, lost her handle on the ball, and it's turned over again. Running down the field now is Roloffs, making defenders miss. And that's how they've done so far in this first quarter, was just getting them to kind of draw them away from them.
And Roloff just went coast to coast on the Eagles defense there.
Yeah, was able to move several defenders to keep her stride. This one in front, shot, score from Carolina Keaton.
And a great pass by Rivas to set that up there from the back box straight to the middle with a wide open shot.
Sure looked like that was their play the whole time, was to set it up in the back and find those cutters again. This time, Eagles defense not quick enough to find Keating wide open in front of the net.
And that's her 4th goal of the year.
That's her 4th of the season, as you said. I believe that puts her in 3rd now for this Bobcat squad in terms of the leaderboards.
And Bates seems to spread out their offense very evenly throughout their team.
Yeah, a lot of the time they're working, trying to get all their players involved. They also spread it out in a literal standpoint down in the box. They've got people working way behind the net, way on the far side of the restrainer. Langle again.
Having the Eagles defense set up like that, being so split and wide open, it can create way more chances for the Bates offense to perform.
A lot of opportunity for the Bates College Bobcats to start. Eagles get this possession off of a face-off or a draw control violation. They're working it around the net now. Baker finds. That was Bumke inside. Wow, what a pass from Baker. That was almost a deja vu of what we saw on the other side.
I agree. From the back, straight to the wide open shooter in the middle, and she drills it.
Baker now with her 5th assist on the year, and Bumke with her 9th goal of the year, tying her. Wow, what a goal from the Eagles, and that's what they need. It's now 4-1. They've got a lot of work to do, but you got to feel some sort of promise when you come away with a goal that easily against this Bates squad.
Just getting some momentum on your side could be super huge for the Eagles going forward into this game.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Lengel and Wines have been the two at the center for the draw control this entire game so far. We'll see who wins it this time. Last time was a violation that led to the Eagles' goal. And that one's secured by Wines. Lengel with tight pressure, able to find Casson. Casson very lightly defended there by Bumke. Moving it around now are the Bobcats. Taylor able to find Wines. That one's broken up. Great defense from number 24, Jory Boyd. Now moving down the field. Bumke's got possession, is pressured by 3. They're just trying to get it out of the zone here onto the offensive side. Benoit's going to try and split some defenders. She loses it. This one's picked up by Taylor. A fast break opportunity for the Eagles. And Eagles lucky to have that one drop. A Shadell. Zoe Shadell was not able to corral that one. So a turnover by the Bobcats saves the Eagles from a potential goal. And maybe I spoke too soon. Another mishandle, this time by the Eagles.
That could have been a huge mistake there for the Husson University Eagles, but I think we got saved there.
Casson tried to find Quinn. She drops it. This one's picked up quickly by Benoit. Benoit's running up the field. Maybe a fast break opportunity for them if she's able to clear Mueller here. She stopped in the corner. Great defense by Mueller to keep her outside and make this Eagles team settle it down. Benoit finds Bumke. Bumke to Martinez, or that's Crocker rather. There's Bumke inside, trying to find something, heavily pressured, able to get it now to Witten. That ball stripped. A great defensive play from Olivia Hall. They're heading back down the other side of the field. This one's Sarah Jane Gavin.
Good defense there by Jordan.
Jordan Lengel able to strip the ball. And a lot of turnovers here, back and forth, back and forth. Carolina Taggart now heading down the field with an opportunity. Gets it to Wong. Wong, met by defenders, is pushed outside the circle. They will settle. Good job by the Eagles. Now Ravis moving it around the backside of the net to Shadell. Moving it well. Eagles not showing a lot of pressure here. I think they're more worried about those cuts into the inside. There's a cut there. Ravis scores. And
Ravis has been all over the field today for the Bates Bobcats.
You could almost see that one coming. As soon as you saw Ravis get that step, you knew the ball was coming from the back of the net. That's how they've scored pretty much all their goals so far in this one. Ravis with her 10th goal of the season. Just a great start for this Bobcats squad. Eagles have to find a way to manage this lead. Maybe I would even consider maybe using one of your timeouts here to talk it over. I think that's what they're doing down by the goal right now. Just the defense getting things sorted out. A little bit better communication probably needed.
Especially with all the moving parts of the Bates offense. Husson just needs to settle down.
Bates has just been moving the ball so well. Like ball movement, they've got each of their players is moving around, making those opportunities possible, while Husson's defense has kind of been stagnant, not really looking behind them to see where their assignment is, and it's allowed them to drive through and have those opportunities right in front of the net. It's led to a 5-1 lead. Wines and Langle still on the draw.
For an offense like Bates, you need to have communication on the defensive side of the ball for it to work out.
You absolutely do. They pass the ball quickly, too. It's not like they're just settling it. They still pass it quickly, even when they settle down. Bates wins this one, and they'll have it in their offensive zone yet again. And that one scored by Grace Yonchak. Hits top cheddar over Emma Biggs.
And that was a signature Bates goal. From the back box, straight to the wide open shooter in the middle.
I feel like we've seen that goal
six
times already now. Same sort of thing is happening. I would not be surprised if Coach Amanda Deshays calls a timeout here soon.
Even to slow down the momentum, a timeout would be nice and helpful for this Eagles defense, just to even get a break.
You just give them a breather, right? And then you can settle down, talk to your coach, really have the whole team there. I feel like those conversations where you're either just talking to the defense or the offense is just talking, it makes it really hard to have the whole team understand what is expected when you're making changes. If you talk about the defensive side of the ball, the defense is really the only ones that truly need to know it, but it's always good to have everybody on the team have an understanding of what changes are being made and what the game plan is going forward. Here's the draw. This time it's Bumke taking it for the Eagles and Keating taking it for Bates. They're running down the field. Bates with roll-offs. That one's mishandled in the corner by Ravis, but she picks it up. Send it for Taggart. Taggart looking for that option and not able to find it that time. It winds up in the stick of Wong, and she's going to get a free position opportunity here. I believe that's actually Keating. Keating's shot stopped by Biggs. Great foot save. Eagles now with possession. That's going to be Sydney Heth seeing her first minutes. That one's launched across the field for Riley Maynard. Tried to sneak it into Baker, is no good. Baker's going to hit it out of the stick of number 14, Olivia Joquin. And
we have an Eagle down.
Do have an Eagle down. We have an Eagles player down. That is Riley Maynard. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break here, folks. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the Husson Eagles Sports Network. Riley Maynard able to get off the field under her own power. Looks like maybe she just rolled an ankle or something. Hope to see her back in here soon. So the Eagles will be able to set up on defense, something they haven't really been able to do a lot of, but they are playing outside of that shooting circle now. It's really been giving the Bobcats opportunities throughout the entire game. Jonchak trying to find someone inside. That's number 6, Carolina Taggart, who was swarmed inside that shooting circle.
And somehow she still has the ball.
I don't know how they kept that. That's insane. Here's Keating. Keating out to Roloffs. Roloffs trying to find her way inside the shooting circle. Finds Bernard. And Bumke's going to get caught with the foul, giving Mika Bernard a chance at a free position shot. Pretty straight line to the net here against Biegs. We'll see who comes out on top for this one. A pass is deflected by Bumke. Wow, what a defensive play by Bumke. It's immediately taken away. Bernard gets it back to Jonchak. Wong's going to have it on the outside. And the Eagles really need to start capitalizing on these defensive plays. Here's a shot inside block Biegs. And Biegs finally able to get it. I was going to say the Eagles need to take advantage of some of these defensive plays they're having. They're not having a terrible defensive game, but they give up the ball way too easily after they get it.
They really haven't gotten the ball past half oftenly.
There's been one possession, and it turned into a score, or 2 possessions, and one of them turned into a score for them. It was off the face-off draw penalty. That one shot and scored by Keating, her second of the game.
And the signature Bobcats play again.
It
works again.
It's just like a broken record. It's working over and over and over again. Make that a 7-1 score with 3 minutes left in the first quarter. And the Eagles really need to try and find some sort of change. (7-1) early in this first quarter. It's a hard pill to swallow if you're the Eagles.
I agree. Getting out to deficit this large in the first quarter especially can be difficult to come back from. But I think that the Eagles, if they get some momentum before half, they could easily come back and do this thing.
They got to find a way. It'll be a lot of transition and defensive adjustments to be made, but they can't let this game get too far ahead of them. Entering the game now, Sarah Stavrovich. And that one's passed inside. Saved by Biegs. Outlet here now to Bumke is interrupted by Stavrovich. A rolling pass, or a rolling shot rather, by Taggart finds the back of the net through the legs of the goalie. Beagans did not see that one coming. And an 8-1 lead as the snow starts to fall here in Bangor.
That was a fancy goal by Taggart there.
Sometimes you just got to go for the simple ones. Like a lot of players try to find that top corner or bounce it off the ground. A lot of goalies don't expect the ball to be rolled into their net. And clearly Biegs did not there. That's a tough one to stop, especially if it hits off of her foot or hits the pole. Snow really starting to come down now. Did we have snow in the forecast today?
I didn't think so.
I didn't think so either.
I was going to say, coming off the roof. And
yet another draw control. Bumke still playing in place of Lengel there. Lengel probably just getting a break, as she is still on the field. Taggart working it around the backside now. Peyton Berg tries to find Casson. Somehow they're able to get it back. Wow, a shot just barely wide of the net from Haley Wines. Quick offense here. A pass inside. Wines misses again, this time high.
And they're trying to go for that Bates offense, starting in the back and trying to find the open.
They're cutting. They're all cutting in. You see them coming in from the top. Now they'll settle it up front, and then they'll eventually run it behind the net again.
It's a very motion-oriented offense for Bates.
Moving at all times are all of these Bates players. Here's Wines. Wines immediately stuck, but it's going to be a foul on Montana Carrier for the Eagles, and a free position shot coming up for Wines. Tried passing it on the last one. Wine's going to take it herself and finds the back of the net. Past the goaltender. And a 9-1 game in the closing minutes of this first quarter.
And I think that's her first goal of her career.
That is her first goal of her collegiate career. Good call in 3 games played. And if you're Bates and the Bobcats, and really Coach Princess Zabel, you have to like what you're seeing out of not only your prolific starters, but those other players who are coming in because the lead's so big. They're getting an opportunity to show what they have. And Wine sees her first real minutes of this game, right, or of this season, and capitalizes on a free position goal.
And as a coach, you love to see all those extra players get their reps in and prove to you why you're on their team.
And Zabel is no stranger to recruiting. She previously coached at St. Joseph's in Connecticut, and she owns Black Pirate Lacrosse, which is a youth program focused on recruiting and sending players to the next level. An offensive possession for the Eagles. Pass inside. A roller behind the back is stopped by the goaltender. I thought that one went in. Reagan White with a great save at the feet.
And that was a great pass by Kate Bumke to Layla Martinez there.
It's going to be a foul, and Layla Martinez is going to get the opportunity for a free position. Martinez is speedy. They got to watch her as she drives to the net. She'll just shoot it right away, and she scores! Bouncer into the back of the net.
And the Eagles need that momentum going into the second quarter.
They sure did, and it kind of just proves that when they're on the offensive side of the field, they can get things to work. They've had so much trouble in transition getting over the field that they haven't really been able to keep up. Their defense gets tired. The Bates offense is running plays that they're not exactly ready for. So adjustments on the defensive and transitional periods of this game for the Eagles are going to be huge, but they have the offensive potential.
I agree 100%.
That time it's Martinez who gets her second of the year. Martinez has been a cornerstone player for this Eagles squad for several years now. She's also a dual sport athlete playing field hockey, or basketball rather. Several basketball players for this Eagles squad on this team.
I think that's an interesting connection, how lacrosse and basketball go together.
Yeah, I was thinking more of field hockey, right? Like Avery Baker, she plays field hockey as well. But the games are so similar. Basketball, it's not all that similar.
I agree.
Maybe just wanting to not ever really stop your sports season. In basketball, you're working from pretty much the day you get back to school, and with lacrosse, you're playing a sport until the end of the year, sometimes past that.
Yep.
Eagles' possession is going to fall short here. We have another injured player this time for the Bobcats. She's going to get up. That's number 10, Olivia Hall. And Jordan Lingle is going to get caught with the penalty. So a woman-up opportunity for the Bobcats, as if the Eagles needed anything else really to go wrong for them on the defensive side. So Jordan Lingle will serve some time in the box.
And I think Husson just needs communication on the defensive side of the ball.
I think that's been the part that they've really struggled with the most. White's just going to hold it in the circle. She's going to have to move out of there at some point. Finally gets it out. That one's nearly picked off by Witten. Coming back the other way, though, with Hall, who was just down, still showing speed. Loses it there. She'll go back over the line. This Eagles defense, even woman down, is having a field day out there right now, doing a great job holding them behind the line. And that's going to be the end of the first quarter. 9-2 the score here at Boucher Field. Don't go anywhere, folks. You're watching the Husson Eagles Sports Network. Welcome back to the Husson Eagles Sports Network. 9-2 the score. Bobcats leading the Eagles in this matchup between a NESCAC and a North Atlantic Conference team. Eagles, we knew we were going to struggle with this one mightily as they face a tough team here. They found a way to get the ball in the net a few times. What do the Eagles need to do to rally back in this one?
To me, it's just about their defense and their communication. If they want to stop the Bates the Bates offense, they need to be good at defense and communicate on defense to stop this motion offense that the Bobcats have going on.
There's also been several key turnovers for the Eagles. Eagles with 13 turnovers in that first period to the Bobcats just 6. As far as ground balls go, not too much of a difference there. Bobcats with 12, Eagles with 7. The real difference is where the shots come in. The Bobcats with 18 shots in that first quarter, the Eagles with just 2, both of which they capitalized on. And also they caused turnovers. Bates has forced 10 to the Eagles just 1.
And Bates was very aggressive in that first period, forcing those turnovers, and I didn't realize they had 13, but 13 is a lot for one quarter.
That is a lot for one quarter. Those are typically stats you see at halftime. Maybe not even get up to that point. So how will the Eagles adjust? It is still a woman-up opportunity for the Bobcats. 1:22 remaining on the clock for Jordan Lengel's penalty.
And the weather might come back and play a factor here as the snow's starting to come down.
It's
heavy.
really coming down now, and like we were saying, I did not know this was in the forecast. It said it's going to be like 35 and just relatively clear for the night.
Just cold.
Mother Nature had some other plans. Bates working it around the outside as they've done so well, looking for cutters. Here's Lucy Taylor, able to find Keating, who scores her 3rd of the game.
A hat trick, not even a minute into the second period.
Wow, that's impressive. And she's doubled her goal total for the season, now with 6 after that last goal. The junior out of Rye, New York, getting some valuable minutes in here and putting on a show for her team.
And a hat trick's very impressive, even in lacrosse.
Impressive in almost any sport. She's not had this kind of game so far this season in her junior year. She's had hat tricks in the past. Back to the draw, which Keating will take. She's been the primary draw control taker for them this game. She's able to secure it, trying to outrun Martinez. She does. That's surprising. Martinez is very fast. That takes a lot of speed to get by. Here's Ravis getting it back for Taggart. Taggart working around the outside, settles it, gets it back to Ravis, who mishandles, and the Eagles will have possession with an opportunity to clear. We talked about the transition offense needs to show up here. They haven't so far. Maddie Benoit now with an opportunity to change the narrative.
So far, the transition defense so far for the Eagles this half has been way better.
It surely has, and they forced some pressure down in the offensive zone. Benoit mishandles. It's picked up by Taylor. And now coming in from behind, Witten not able to get a stick on number 10, Olivia Hall. That one's loose on the ground. Some pushing and shoving, no whistle.
And Bates is very aggressive. As soon as Husson gets the ball, there's at least 2 to 3 defenders of Bates coming to attack.
Every single time, and they're playing a lot tighter to the offense than the Eagles are to the Bobcats offense. Looking for that pass through the middle, not able to find it this time, so she'll get it off to Shadell, and now working around the other side, Ravis. Ravis is going to cut to the other side. Looking in the middle, was trying to find Lucy Taylor, not able to corral it.
And Husson seems like they're just staying on the outside of the box and not really going after the ball.
Yeah, they're playing a zone defense right now, which could come back to haunt them if they don't start applying some sort of pressure. Benoit there tried to make that work. A shot gets past Biggs. I didn't even see where that one came from.
That seemed like a ground shot to me. and just bounce up past Beek.
It was another ground shot, this time from Julia Roloffs, who gets her second goal of the season and her 12th of her career. A lopsided first half for sure, 11-2. One more goal and it'll start being running clock once they get to a 10-point lead.
Never a good sign if you have a running clock in the second period.
And it gives you a lot of, it doesn't give you a lot of time to correct and come back. It ups the ante a little bit more for the Eagles.
And things can just pile on top of one another.
They've really got to find a way to get some offensive possessions. They've been successful on both trips so far. This one is poked away by Lengel and then finally picked up by Wong. Bates has just done such a good job, even when they drop the ball, getting back to it. Working behind the net. No shock there. Here's Ravis, who thought she saw a line there. Was quickly closed up by Layla Martinez.
And you see these moving parts from Bates. Just another part of their offense with all the cuts and motion going on. It's very hard to keep track.
It is difficult. Wong was working behind the net that time. They have personnel all over the field. They don't have one person who's assigned to a certain area. They are all moving. They all know their jobs at each position in the offensive zone. And that's clearly showing when you look at the scoreboard. A free position attempt coming up for number 27. Grace Casson scores, able to get that one past Biggs.
And that's her third goal of the year.
Grace Casson with now 5 goals this season after she gets her hat trick. Only had 8 in her career prior to that. She's in her sophomore season.
And another hat trick for Bates is another very impressive thing that's going on in today's game.
Really moving the ball well, finding players that aren't your typical scorers, but really using your entire roster are the Bobcats. And so it'll be another draw. At least some good practice for both these teams as far as draw goes.
And Langle hasn't been back in the draw circle since the early first period.
It's been Bumke and Wines this entire time, and now it's back to Keating.
The snow has slowed down, finally.
And that was still Wines. Yeah, snow has definitely slowed down. Guarantee you it's still just as cold, though.
Definitely.
Definitely tough playing in these conditions. Early March. Here's Casson again. Casson trying to drive. She'll fall inside the shooting circle. Won't be a penalty there.
The fact that Casson kept her balance there is very impressive.
Yeah, was able to keep the ball in her stick the whole time, too. Wong looking for that cutter inside. Wong going to take it herself. Gets it back to Ravis, and a great block by Biggs to stop that doorstop shot. Bobcats will remain with possession. Lucy Taylor tries to find the net. Unsuccessful. Biggs standing tall now on this possession. Bobcats still with the ball. Wong trying to work inside. Here's Ravis. It's going to be a penalty. Try and see who it's on. I believe that's going to be on Sydney Heth. It is Sydney Heth, and a timeout called, believed by the Eagles. And they definitely need to use this timeout, Mason, and try and figure things out on defense, because they've come away with several stops on defense. They've got to learn, or they've got to figure out how to transition that into offense.
Well, especially with this running clock, they don't have a lot of time to continue making adjustments and need to figure out something quick.
Amanda Deshays has been pretty good in making adjustments. Again, seeing some really tough competition here today. If we go back and look at last year, of course, Amanda Deshays in her 3rd season this year was hired in 2023. She's 17-13 overall at Husson. Led her team to the NAC Conference semifinals last year, where they unfortunately lost to SUNY Morrisville 13-12 in overtime. That's certainly a killer because they had a chance to make a run if they got through Morrisville.
And this has always been a tough competition for Husson, as even last year when they faced off, Bates won 22-2.
Yeah, a tough game, certainly. Lucy Taylor, Lauren Wong, and Frankie Franz each with 3 goals in that contest. We've already got 2 players with 3 goals.
We have not seen Frankie Franz today.
Not today.
From Bates.
Let's see here. She has not played a game this season even. She played, obviously, last year, where she had 4 goals, 2 assists, was 80% with her shots. And in her career, she's only played a total of 7 games with 4 goals, 4 assists, and that same 80% shot percentage.
3 of those goals came against Husson on that date.
It certainly did. She would have probably loved to play this year, but she is out for this game, or at least has not seen the field yet. Coming out of the timeout, 9:47 remaining in the first half. Bates 12, Eagles 2. The story has been this Bates offense and what they're able to do on that far side of the field in their offensive zone. They move the ball so well. All of their players are moving around, and it creates so many opportunities against this Eagles zone defense. Here's Ravis now, working behind the net per usual, trying to find a way inside. She does! My goodness!
And that speed burst around the edge was just ridiculous there from Ravis.
Lacey Ravis somehow able to split 4 or 5 defenders there to get inside the shooting circle for a doorstop shot. And there's not really much that Bees could do.
Nope, definitely not. And just the drive around that corner got her that wide open look, and she just came off firing.
Some good stick movement, too. I don't know if you saw that, but she kind of brought the stick low, ducking players, and then brought it back up when it was time to shoot right in front of the net.
And that's not what you wanted to see if you were a Husson fan, as that just started the running clock for us.
The running clock now officially started, taking down 8:45 remaining in the first half. Eagles got to work quickly. They still got Bumke working the draw control. She doesn't get that one. Haley Wines ends up with it. Fast break opportunity now. Inside. Combination of Taggart and Taylor working in the back there. A pass attempted for Wines. Ends up in the stick of Wong. Wong decides not to take the shot. Gets it to Taggart. Taggart with a pass in front of the net. No good. Bobcats still with possession. Eventually ends up back in the stick of Ravis. Ravis is going to try the same thing. That one bounces off the ground and hits the goalpost. Hits the referee in the head. Still on the ground here. A lot of scrumming around to try and get this ball. Still no possession. And Sydney Heth ended up on the ground. No penalty. And Bates comes away with it again.
Right back into their signature look.
Brought up to the right side of the field now. Working it around are the Bobcats.
And if I was Bates, I would sort of just start time wasting here.
I think that's what they're doing. They're passing it around. They're not looking for the shot right away. Ravis looks in the middle, decides not to give it up. Has a one-on-one opportunity. Is met by 2 Eagles defenders. Still continuing to work it up at the top. Remember, there is a shot clock, 25 remaining on that.
And this defensive possession has been one of the better ones we've seen from Husson this game.
They've collapsed better and haven't allowed as many opportunities and cuts through the middle. They have been there, but they've been well defended. Wines finds Ravis. Ravis still has the ball. Able to get it out to Wong. That was Taggart, actually. And that ball's thrown into the ground at the end of the shot clock.
And if their goal is to time waste, that was a great time-wasting possession, as they just ran around and passed the ball until the shot clock was over.
Great job. Eagles now with a clear attempt. That one sent over and mishandled by Riley Maynard. It's on the ground. It's kicked forward, now in the Eagles zone, picked up by Amanda Edge. And fast break opportunity is stopped. It may be restarted, no, still on the ground. A battle for it between Carrier, almost ends up in the stick of Langle, and finally rolls right to Emma Biggs. Could have been a bad possession there for the Eagles. Bad turn of events. But they're able to pick it up, and they'll go back to square one where they started in this possession. That's Jory Boyd who had the ball. Now Baker. Baker trying to find anything. It's knocked out of bounds.
And around midfield, we haven't seen many passes from the Eagles. It's been sort of a two-man show bringing the ball up and not many passes in between the midfield.
That's a good point. When Bates had some issues, they were passing it behind them and trying to just open things up, and it worked for them. Eagles have kind of just been running down the field. Still working outside is Keating. Keating against Langle. Found a player inside. That was Roloffs. Believe there's going to be a foul here. It'll be a free position shot for Roloffs. Roloffs driving, stick work, and finds the back of the net to up the score. 14-2. Julio Roloffs with a few in this one now, brings her season total to 3.
And she got right up into Beek's face and basically just put it right around her.
Some more good stick work on that goal, too, moving it around, up and down. Faked Beeks out. And a goal scored, not usually the traditional way that we've seen it today by the Bobcats.
A goal, another less.
And so it'll be, they've got Langle back at the draw.
Haven't seen this since the first 2 minutes of the first.
Yeah, early on in the first quarter. She'll face off against Amanda Edge. A complete line change here for Bates, at least on the defensive end.
And this is definitely Edge's first time into the draw box.
Yeah, she hasn't, this is her first draw control attempt of the game. She has been in the game for several minutes now, had an opportunity to bring the ball down the field on that clear. And a false start goes the Eagles' way. So Eagles will have an opportunity to possess in their zone again. Here's Witten.
That's something the Eagles needed.
They definitely need this. Witten with a little bit of space to move around, looking for Benoit. Benoit's behind the net. Langle trying to cut across. Some similar offense to what the Bobcats have tried running. Here's Baker. Baker mishandles, fighting for it. She's the only Eagle in there until Bumke gets there along with Langle, and it's picked up by White, who's going to help clear. And a contact foul will give the Eagles, or the Bobcats rather, an edge and opportunity for free clear.
And I don't know if you saw there, but Bates' defense is way different from the Eagles' defense, as Bates started pressuring the attacker as soon as they got the ball.
Yeah, they've definitely been playing more aggressive defense. As soon as the ball arrives, they are on the point. Eagles' defense does a good job getting back this time. That's Roloffs to Wong. It'll be Wong and Ravis playing behind the net. Moving it up along the top of the shooting circle now. Back to Roloffs. Keating with a nice spin move. Firing inside, just left of the goal. Wow, what a move inside. She had a chance.
Just to be able to get that shot from Keating is very impressive.
It's a tough shot to make off the spin. Here's Wong. Wong able to find Ravis inside. Sure as anything, Ravis gets it to go.
And that's a great pass from Lauren Wong there.
And Ravis has her third.
And Ravis has been everywhere tonight.
She really has.
Both goal scoring and playmaking, she's been everywhere for the Bates Bobcats.
Whether it's behind the net or in front, actively shooting the ball, she's had her impact on this game. And sometimes you just got to take it yourself. She decides to do that there. Off a great pass, by the way. But We saw her work inside earlier with a great move on a rolling shot that went in for the Bobcats. Very versatile is Ravis. So that puts her up to 12 on the season. Another draw coming up. It'll still be Amanda Edge for the Bobcats. Thrown up in the air. Lingle had a chance. It's taken by Bumke. Wow, what a great play by Bumke to be the first one of the ball. They're pushing their fast break opportunity here. Bumke's going to slow it down as three defenders are there. Looks for Baker. Baker unable to corral it. It's bouncing around and finally picked up by Hall. Hall is heavily pressured by both Baker and Sullivan. This is the type of defense on transition that they need, except now the passes have made their way all the way up, and here's a fast break for the Bobcats.
And those forced turnovers by Bates are coming in handy right now.
They really are. Here's Wong inside, picks off the corner, gets it past the shoulder of Biggs, and another goal added to the scoreboard for Bates. They're up to 16. Those fast break opportunities have really killed them in this game, Mason.
I agree. The fast break and basically just not being aggressive on defense. I think being this zone defense is allowing the Bates motion offense to generate more open looks and get more clear shots onto the net.
They've had some wild offensive success in this first half, which has just come to an end. Bates 16, Eagles 2. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll catch you after halftime on the Husson Eagles Sports Network. Welcome back, everybody, to the Husson Eagles Sports Network for this Division III women's lacrosse matchup between the Bates College Bobcats and the Husson University Eagles. I'm Max Sturm, joined alongside Mason Heimer. Mason, we saw a pretty rough first half for the Eagles as far as defense goes. They had some opportunities on offense, but not many. But when they did, they capitalized. What needs to change for the Eagles in this one as they're down 16-2?
And I would say just being more aggressive on defense still, and better passing on the offensive end. As soon as we get onto the attack, it seems that we're very drive heavy instead of pass heavy, and I think we should switch that focus.
They've definitely been aggressive on the offensive end when they've had the ball, and it has resulted in 2 goals. But other than that, they're working a little bit too quickly. If they can settle down and run their plays, they'll be able to get some more points on the board. As we have a goalie change for each side. For Husson, it's Lacey Scanlon. And for the Bobcats, it's Molly Urbanez. Here's the draw. Langle shoots it high up in the air, and it's corralled by Elsa Copeland, who gets it to Wong. Wong had a goal in the first half. Several players on this Bates squad with 3. Moving it around, pretty similar to what we saw earlier. Middle of the field has been left open. It's Yongchak now.
And here's Husson being more aggressive on the defensive end, which we like to see.
Yeah, they're going to pressure out a little bit farther and follow people into the zone there. A great pick set for, and that's going to be a penalty inside. Julia Roloffs had a great pick set for her, and it's a foul. She'll get a free position opportunity.
Looked like that foul was on Bumkey there.
Sure looked like it. Here's the shot from Roloffs. Bouncer hits the top of the net. And that one brings the Bates College Bobcats to 17. And Eagles 2.
And that's her hat trick. The 3rd hat trick for Bates in today's game.
Kind of deja vu. Several deja vu events today, Mason, in this game. But deja vu from last year, as there were 3 players on this Bates squad who had 3 goals against the Eagles last year.
And the cool thing about the game this year is that all 3 hat tricks are by different people than scored the 3 hat tricks last year.
There's a little bit of diversity in this game. Lucy Taylor does have 1, Wong with, I believe, 1 as well. And Frankie Franz has not seen any action yet this season. Setting back up the draw. Eagles going back to Jordan Langle here after not seeing a lot of her in the second quarter.
And with her height, I think it's the best option for the Eagles to win some draws.
You've got opportunities with her, that's for sure. She takes the opening toss in basketball as well.
And these passes from the Bobcats are just super quick and precise.
Taylor finds Yongchak. Moving it around. Here's Wong. Wong trying to find some way into the shooting box. It dips it off behind the net. Here's Taggart. Continuing to move it around behind the net. And it's a turnover. Eagles with an opportunity to transition now. And we talked about it. That's kind of been a huge struggle for them. Haven't really been able to get it past midfield. A lobbing pass is on the ground. Thought that one was caught by Witten for a second. Nonetheless, she's able to corral it. Working inside.
And this is the offense we wanted to see from Husson. Just passing, and even if there's not opportunity there, passing again.
Just where they get some time to settle it down. Witten finds.
And that's great defense from
That is great defense by the Bobcats. And so it'll be Urbanez with a chance to clear for the first time in this one. And picked up but corralled by other Eagles players. A fast break opportunity now for Taggart. Taggart finds Yongchak. And the Eagles able to settle down. Lucky to not give up that fast break there.
Going back to the signature Bates offense.
Keating up to Stravovic.
And I can see the Bates offense starting to slow down here, just trying to waste some time, especially with the running clock going for them.
Definitely, and they've already got a 15-point lead in this one. Wines working inside, tries to find Starovich. Picked up this time by number 24, Jory Boyd. The sophomore, she loses it. Picked up by Wines, or nearly picked up by Wines, now is. Cashes it over to Taggart. And a full reset on the shot clock for the Bobcats, who continue to work it around. And now look how wide out they're playing. They are just playing time management here.
And I think this is very smart by Bates. Not risk anything and not risk a comeback from a dangerous win on the offensive side, Eagles offense.
Definitely. Here's Wong. Wong finds a way inside, takes it back out, had the opportunity for the shot. Here's Casson, who's got 3. Back to Wines. Mishandled by Casson, picks it back up. Working it around the horn now as they have these last few possessions. Draining the clock, 40 left on the shot clock. This one's going to be taken inside, and a great shot and stop by Began.
That's a great stop by Beegs.
That was a shot right in front of her that is very difficult to stop, point blank. She stands tall, gets that one, gives the Eagles a chance here to go down the field. Passing a little bit better, but that one hits the ground.
And there's another first turnover for the Bates Bobcats.
There's a lot of turnovers in that midsection have made it difficult for the Eagles. Snow starting to pile up on the field, might be a little slippery out there.
And I really think that's been the biggest struggle point for the Eagles, has been that midfield area.
Here's Frankie Franz, who we talked about having 3 in the game versus the Eagles last year, seeing her first minutes. Casson now.
And these are actually her first minutes of the season, too. We talked about her not playing at all this season.
Yep, seeing her first minutes of the entire season. Casson with an opportunity in the lane. They're just going to continue to pass it around. Tried to find a centering Starovich. And it's picked up by the Eagles. Here's Bumke. Bumke is closely defended, kept up well by Grace Casson and a few other players for this Bates squad. Baker now trying to find her way out of a triple team. She hits the ground, but it's going to be a foul. And so the Eagles again will have an opportunity in their offensive zone. Martinez to Benoit. Benoit looking to drive. She gets through there and hit hard in the shooting circle. That's going to be a free position. So Benoit will get her first real shot opportunity of the game.
And that was basically a hit stick from Caitlin.
It really was. She kind of ran right into her, and I'll give her credit. Took the hit and gets an opportunity at a free position goal. Benoit is also a quick player for this Eagles team. Be interesting to see if she just shoots it. She does, and she hits the back of the net. Off the ground, able to get it past Urbanis, and the Eagles score their 3rd of the game.
And that's just good to see for the Eagles. Get some more points on the board and get that morale up a little bit in the locker room.
Several successful offensive possessions have come as a result from drawing contact or having a violation on the face-off. 3 of them, to be exact. They haven't had a lot of time in the offensive zone. The time of possession is mostly skewed for the Bobcats. But when the Eagles get down there, they have the chance to go down and get the ball in the goal. They're just not transitioning well and not taking advantage of their defensive opportunities. Lingle will still be at the center of the field for this draw control. Be interesting to see if they run with her all game, if they'll keep switching back and forth between her and Bumke. That one's lobbed high up in the air. Lengel's going to have a chance to pick this up and settle. Trying to run around. Smartly pulls it back and gets it to Bumke.
And this is the offense we wanted to see from the Eagles to start with.
They just got to be smart offensively and not work too quickly. Bumke trying to drive through, hit several times, and another free position opportunity coming up. This time it'll be Bumke, who we talked about, had 8 goals this year, has another one here today, has a chance at her second right now.
And she can get 4 and 3 back-to-back games. That's very
That would be
impressive.
crazy. As a freshman, too, a first-year player.
Start off your college career that way. Wouldn't complain about that.
Not too bad starting as the first 3 games as your team's lead scorer in your first year. So Bumke will take it. She hits the ground, and a great save made by Urbanis. Bumke went for the bounce shot, and it stopped short by Urbanis, and a not-so-good outlet is somehow picked up by Stavrovic. That was a really great ground ball. Fast break opportunity. Here comes Taggart. Gets it inside to a player, and that's Frankie Franz, who we talked about not playing all year, sees her first goal in her first few minutes.
And that's crazy to see. A person that hasn't been talked about or played at all this year for Bates just shows off.
Welcome to the squad for Frankie Franz in her first game of the season, which is the Eagles, or the Bobcats rather, 4th game of the year. That's one way to get back into it and to reestablish yourself on the team.
And just the role players that Bates has shows why they are so good and competitive in the NESCAC.
We talked about it, had a NESCAC opponent who was ranked number 25, Catholic College, and they went in there and beat them 11-10. So this Bates Bobcats squad is no joke. Reminder, we are still running a running clock. 4:10 left in the third quarter. This one's picked up by Keaton and moved quickly once again behind the net. This time to Franz. Moving it quickly now to Stavrovic, and then to Roloffs.
And this ball movement and this time management phase of their offense seems to be really good.
Taggart inside decides not to take the shot. Had a clear doorstep shot. Could have put it anywhere she wanted. Decided not to shoot it. Keating will pick it back up, and they'll just send it around the horn again. 45 on the shot clock. Jonchik, guarded by Langel and others. Continuing to work it around. That one was Taggart looking for Franz, and it was well defended by Jory Boyd. Still will remain with the Bobcats. They'll move it around, moving inside a little bit closer than they were to start this possession. Had an opportunity there, mishandled. Eagles pick it up. Jory Boyd able to find Biggs. Wow, good defensive possession there. Eagles need to do better passing in this transition, not just run it up the field. Looks like they're trying to do that. Montana Carrier is going to get it. And she falls awkwardly, able to get back up.
And that's where the snow has come to play. The snow is sticking and the ground has become slicker.
Yeah, from personal experience, I can tell you when the snow is on that field, you don't get a lot of traction. I know some teams have invested in turf shoes that prevent sliding, especially for these lacrosse teams that play in these early winter months. They only need them for about 2 months, but they sure help, and really they'll prevent injuries too. That one, a good shot from Starovic. Starovic received the pass from Taggart. And Starovic sees her second goal of the season.
Only one away from 20 goals in today's game. That's a bit crazy for Bates.
That is pretty crazy, as they're almost at the score they got to last year.
Before the fourth period.
It'll be interesting to see what other changes Bates decides to make in that fourth period. Right now, they still got the majority of their starters out there. But they are working in those off-the-bench players as well. I mean, we've seen Frankie Franz, who hadn't played all year, get some time. Amanda Edge, Olivia Hall, Grace Janczek, bunch of people getting in there.
And with that depth for Bates, you can see why they're always competitive.
A lot of talent on that team for sure. This one picked up, had an opportunity where the Eagles, it's still rolling around, and it's finally picked up by Casson. Now back on the ground and picked up finally by Caitlin Quinn. See, this is the aggressive defense that the Eagles needed in the transition. Avery Baker running all over the field, trying to find a way in front of Urbanis.
And I think it's just a little too late here for the Eagles.
It definitely is getting to that point, but this is, at this point, you've got a lot you can learn from this game, and you can try things out. And I think that's exactly what Amanda DeHaze and this Eagles squad are doing down the stretch here. That one's dropped by Peyton Berg, another player who had not played all season until today. As the third quarter comes to an end, fourth quarter of action coming up on the Husson Eagles Sports Network. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the Husson Eagles Sports Network. The final quarter of action coming up here between the Bates College Bobcats and the Husson University Eagles. Bobcats up 19-3 right now. Remember, folks, running time applies in this final quarter. Bobcats coming away with a really good game, have displayed both offensively and defensively what they're truly made of, and have shown a lot of potential from their depth on the field as well. Eagles still have a lot to learn in this game. They can try things out offensively and defensively. They can find out which personnel groups work better together early on in the season like this. That's super valuable.
And I would agree with that. And the biggest improvement I've seen so far from this game is that their defense has gotten better quarter by quarter by quarter.
It definitely has. Have allowed less goals for sure. It was a 9-1 goal, 9-1 score after the first quarter. Just 10 goals allowed since then. Here's Bumke, ducks the defender, settles it down, and that's the kind of smart offense we talked about earlier having to play. Martinez now trying to find some opportunities back to Bumke.
And obviously, once the running clock starts, it's sort of difficult to run this offense, especially when you're down. But this is always good to see, and especially with this passing.
A shot up front, this time from Finley Pomelo. Wow, what a shot. A very quick sequence on offense.
And that was a good pass from maybe Raker there.
And that's her first career goal. First goal of her collegiate career. The freshman from North Waterboro. And the Eagles team loves it, loves seeing these freshmen and underclassmen players getting their time and showing some sort of impact on the field.
And that's always good to see one of your underclassmen get into the game and, granted, do something in that game.
So 13:30 left in this one. Eagles up to 4 on the scoreboard. Langle continuing to take these draw controls, this time against Wines. Still fighting for it. Langle has a chance. It's pushed to the ground. They won't call anything. Heading down is Amanda Edge. No, that is Caitlin Quinn. Franz to Wong. Wong looking over the middle, trying to find an option. Doesn't find it. Wines to Casson. Just continuing to work it around. I think this is mostly what we're going to see for the rest of the game.
And even in this time management phase of their offense, like I said earlier, it's great to see their passing and just how skilled they are at that one, at passing.
Coaches love to see the stick work practiced all the time. You can never not get good when you're working with the sticks and passing and catching. So it's important to kind of lock those skills in, and they're doing that here. We've also seen them where they'll pass it in the middle for an attempt on a goal, but just won't shoot it, trying to manage the clock. This time it will be a shot from Caitlin Quinn, seeing her second career goal. Caitlin Quinn, the freshman from Dana Point, California. Wow, that's a long way from here to be.
I bet she's not used to this cold.
I bet not. It doesn't snow too much over there.
Definitely not.
Maybe if you're in the northern sections and some high elevation.
I think it's also impressive to see that the Bates time management, it's almost more impressive to see him hold the ball away from Husson rather than keep it for that, rather than give it away right away.
Yeah, because they're not exactly just trying to avoid Eagles players. They're still passing into the middle. They're just doing such a good job getting away from defenders when they are pressured and finding open opportunities. Whether they shoot it or not, that's really been up to their discretion. But these players that don't see a lot of time, they're going to let them shoot. Sydney Heth picks it up and is hit in the head. Loses her face mask. Going to get some time to put it back on. She gets up okay. Glad to see that.
And the footing is becoming very brutal out there.
Yeah, it's difficult, and that's probably where the hit to the head really stemmed from, was slipping. That was probably unintentional, hence why we're not seeing a real penalty for that one. Picked up by Casson off the mishandle by this Eagles team, something we've highlighted a lot, just unable to get it down the field in transition. Wong to Quinn, who just scored the last goal. Franz working in the backfield. Wong finds her way back there too. They'll move some players on offense. Lots of cutters. That one had an opportunity. It's sent up to the front for Casson. Continuing to work this clock. They've done it so well. Now some aggressive defense from Riley Maynard. Player slips. That's going to be Boyd with an opportunity to pick it up and clear it.
And this last quarter of play has been very sloppy, especially with the snow.
Maynard tried to get it to Bumke. No good. Picked back up by the Bobcats. Wong with a chance. Will continue to run their offense that they've ran so well all game. Take it behind the net. Casson playing way far outside that shooting circle. And she'll sub off. Several substitutions coming in. That'll be Yongchak as well as Keating coming back in. Keating with 3 goals in this game. These are your time managers coming onto the field right now, doing a good job at that.
And I think the Eagles' defense needs to be more aggressive here. Try to take the ball away from Bates.
Yeah, I agree with you. If you can find, as a pass inside is scored by number 15, Grace Yonchak. I think you're right, though. You got to see some more aggressive defense, even with the score. Just keep it up. Try your very hardest to create opportunities for yourself. I understand it's cold out, right? It's cold. It's getting slippery.
It's windy for sure.
You're down a significant margin right now. As a former player, I can definitely sympathize with that.
It's just we don't want to give Bates too many easy looks, and vice versa. We don't want to. They want to give us too many easy looks. And I think recently it's just been a lack of aggressiveness on the defensive side that's translated to the score that we have now.
The Bobcats have had a lot of easy opportunities. That one wasn't necessarily the easiest. Yonchak was covered well.
Yes.
She just was able to find a way to manipulate the defense and move her stick in a way where it was kind of hard to get at it. There's not a lot of contact allowed inside that shooting circle, remember, so you can really only go for the stick. And so Yonchak takes advantage of that and capitalizes it on an opportunity to up the score to 21.
And that's also part of their time management offense, I think. Just lulling the defense asleep enough to where the offense gets an opening to score.
Yonchak back with the ball, hoping to now move it around. Bobcats playing far outside again. Now they'll squeeze in a little bit closer. Annie Smith in the game now.
And this is good defense right here.
This is good defense. They're playing a little bit farther out this time. Martinez is going to pressure. They'll continue to move it around. Lots of cutters for this Bates squad. That's what's been so successful for them. Not just in this game, but all season. Avery Baker's going to check out. Benoit will come back in. And a free position opportunity coming up for Julia Roloffs. She'll pass it back. Working around now. Inside. Tried the behind, or really I don't know if you consider that behind the back or underhand. It's kind of a combination of both. Nonetheless, doesn't find the back of the net. Good job by Beeks to track that one down.
And I can imagine as players, it's hard to see right now with the snow.
Yeah, it definitely is. The lacrosse ball itself is white in color, and you've got a bunch of other white flurries coming down. Not easy to see by any means. A lot of times they'll play with an orange ball, but I don't think anybody expected it to snow like this today. Back on the offensive end are the Bobcats. Here's Yonchak. Eagles kind of going back to that stagnant, staying still zone defense. I think they pretty much are on the same page about closing this one out.
And I think they're just going to let Bates, well, not let Bates, but somewhat allow Bates to pass the ball around and waste some time off this clock.
I agree. Keating gets it in the back, and more players slipping up. That was Peyton Berg. Back to Keating. Yonchak working against Maynard.
And this passing is just still super impressive.
Cutting in front of the net is Frankie Franz for her second of the game and the season.
Don't let Frankie Franz get hot, especially against Husson.
That's now 2 games of at least 2 goals for her. Will she get to 3? Depends on how aggressive the Bobcats want to be.
Maybe add a 4th hat trick to this Bates offense.
Yeah, change it up a little bit, up the score from last year. Now, if you're the Eagles, you still have your whole season ahead of you, right? This game ultimately every game matters, but this game, ultimately, when you get into conference play, does not matter. Remember, last year, the Eagles finished with a 7-8 record, but they were 6-1 in the conference and made it to the semifinals.
Yep.
So you got to take this game sort of with a grain of salt, move on, have good practices, continue to play in games, try and play your very best, up the score, try to win the games when you can. You're going to have games like this out of conference that aren't necessarily going to go your way, especially against a NESCAC team, right? It's difficult. But these are the kind of games that build that team chemistry and you build that skill. And when you get into conference play, you have a better time because you've experienced some really tough teams.
And these losses better suit you for tougher competition further into the future.
Definitely do. And it gets some of the players that aren't as acclimated over the years, like the underclassmen, it gets them used to what college competition is really like. Here's a pass inside Langle, and it's saved by Molly Urbanis, who tipped it outside. Wow, that was a great look to Langle from Boki.
And I think your bonus saved that off the ground.
Yeah, that's a tough save to make, especially in this weather. A foul committed by the Bobcats, and Benoit will take it. Now looking inside, Benoit was the intended target on that pass. Bumke will come around to clean it up. Bumke, high arcing pass, goes over the head of Pomerleau.
And 20 seconds left on the shot clock for Husson.
It just goes to show how well this defense for Bates is playing. Looking for Bumke. She'll pick it back up. Langle now. Wow! Jordan Langle from range!
Great shot. That was a snipe there from Langle.
A snipe into the ground there. Bounces back up at a low angle. Urbanis isn't able to save it. Those are the type of shots you don't really expect. That most of scoring in women's lacrosse comes from inside that shooting circle. Langle just let it rip from probably five or so yards outside of the shooting circle, maybe more, and finds the back of the net.
And with the shot clock running down, you just need to put something on net or close to the net. And Langle did that, and that was an excellent goal.
Great recognition to see that there were players in the way, too. It might have obstructed the view for Urbanis. And so the Eagles get up to 5. 22-5. If the game ended the way that it is as far as the score goes right now, it would be a vast improvement over last year's game. Annie Smith working. Gets it to Taggart, who's still in the game. Keeping the ball moving. That's what they've done so well, is their ball movement.
And here, especially with a minute 45 left in the game, I can see them slowing this down.
Casson working inside, finds it.
Spoke too soon.
Casson with her 4th of the day.
And this is a great game from Casson.
Well, she entered the game with just 2 goals on the season. Now she's got 6, which was her total for last year. And she only had 8 in her entire career prior.
Wow, that's crazy. And only a junior. Hopefully her role can take a step up going forward for Bates.
And she's only a sophomore, so you know that if not this year, in 2 years from now, or even really next year when some of these seniors graduate, you're going to have someone who's very reliable.
And only a minute left.
Make that the 5th goal for her this season. She has a hat trick now. We must have miscounted one earlier. But still, regardless, having a great game.
A hat trick is still a hat trick.
It's still a hat trick. Moving it down now. Annie Smith still with possession. Smith pushed to the outside. Great defense from Carly Crocker. And a goal from Riley Maynard.
And that was a very aggressive play coming out of the goal
Sorry, not Riley Maynard. Julia Roloffs for the Bobcats with that goal. She's over the hat trick mark now.
I believe Bates now has 4 hat tricks.
And that's going to do it for this one. Bates College 24, Eagles 5. A dominant performance for Bates, but a game that the Eagles can certainly learn from, Mason.
I definitely agree. Husson just needs to take this game in stride and see what they can do better.
Well, everybody, thanks for joining us on the Husson Eagles Sports Network. Until next time, I'm Max Sturm, joined alongside Mason Sinisheimer. Have a good night. We'll see you next time.